Stanley Kubrick, the legendary director known for his meticulous filmmaking, has long been the subject of rumours and conspiracy theories. Some are rooted in truth, like his well-documented fear of flying, while others veer into the absurd. One of the most persistent and amusing rumours is that Kubrick, ever the eccentric, wore a football helmet every time he drove a car and insisted his chauffeur never exceed 30 miles per hour. But is there any truth to this bizarre claim, or is it just another bonkers conspiracy theory? The rumour of Kubrick's football helmet habit seems to have sprouted from the fertile ground of his reclusive lifestyle and intense persona. Known for his obsession with control and detail in his films, it's easy to imagine how such a peculiar story could gain traction. After all, Kubrick was a man who reportedly made actors do dozens of takes for a single scene, who crafted films that still fuel endless debates, and who shunned the Hollywood spotlight to live in near seclusion in England. If anyone were to wear a helmet while driving, some might think it would be him. However, digging into the origins of this myth, there is no credible evidence that Kubrick ever wore a football helmet while driving. The rumour is more likely a product of the exaggerated anecdotes that often surround enigmatic figures. As Kubrick's daughter, Katharina, once remarked, "There are so many crazy things people have said about my father, and most of them are simply not true." Kubrick himself was well aware of the outlandish rumours that swirled around him. In interviews, he often addressed the more ridiculous claims with a mix of humour and frustration. In a 1987 interview with Tim Cahill for Rolling Stone, Kubrick was asked about the various conspiracy theories that dogged him. His response was characteristically dry. People like to believe in the myth of the director as some sort of mad genius. It's more interesting than the reality, which is usually just hard work. In the same interview, Kubrick directly addressed the idea that he employed a chauffeur and adhered to strict driving limitations. "I don't have a chauffeur," he said. "I drive myself. And I drive a Porsche, not exactly a vehicle you'd associate with a 30 mph speed limit." Michel Ciment, a French film critic and one of Kubrick's most trusted interviewers, also discussed the myths surrounding Kubrick in his 1980 book Kubrick. The director, though not directly referencing the helmet rumour, expressed bemusement over the outlandish stories people concocted about him. "The more mysterious and inaccessible you are, the more they invent," Kubrick told Cement. "I could say I eat fried chicken with a fork and knife, and by tomorrow, someone would claim I do it because I think I'm Napoleon." Beyond Kubrick's own dismissals, there's photographic evidence that further discredits the helmet-wearing myth. Consider the set of Full Metal Jacket, 1987, where Kubrick is seen driving a car without any protective headgear. If Kubrick had truly been obsessed with wearing a helmet while driving, it seems unlikely he would abandon the habit on a film set, where his every move was often documented. Further debunking the rumour is an incident involving an SUV crash. Kubrick was known to drive an SUV during the later years of his life, and after one particular accident, there were photographs of him at the scene, again, with no helmet in sight. This incident was covered by the press, and not once was there mention of him wearing a football helmet, a detail that surely would have caught the media's attention. In fact, there is an interesting anecdote about this incident. It states, while location scouting for the film, Stanley Kubrick was driving his wife's new SUV around the countryside with cinematographer Douglas Milsom and R. Lee Ermey as passengers. At one point, Kubrick noticed a potential location out his window and became so distracted describing to Milsom how he wanted the location used in the film that he crashed the car into a 6-foot-deep ditch, rolling the SUV onto its side. Undeterred, Kubrick continued talking about the location uninterrupted as they climbed out of the car and walked back home. The persistence of the football helmet rumour speaks to the enduring mystique surrounding Kubrick. His reclusive nature, combined with his reputation as a perfectionist and a genius, created fertile ground for all sorts of stories. People seem to relish the idea that such an extraordinary filmmaker must have had equally extraordinary quirks. Moreover, Kubrick's aversion to public appearances and interviews only fueled speculation, With so little information available, fans and critics alike filled the void with their imaginations. This tendency is not unique to Kubrick. Many iconic figures, especially those who shun the limelight, find themselves at the centre of strange myths. The less accessible they are, the more people invent. In the end, the idea of Stanley Kubrick wearing a football helmet while driving is nothing more than a bonkers conspiracy theory. Kubrick himself denied having a chauffeur or driving at a snail's pace, and the photographic evidence further undermines the claim. Like many myths about the director, it likely persists because it fits the image of Kubrick as an eccentric genius, a man whose quirks were as pronounced as his talents. But while the football helmet story may be false, it does serve as a humorous reminder of the strange stories that can surround even the most brilliant minds. In a way, these myths add to the legend of Stanley Kubrick, making him not just a filmmaker, but a figure of endless fascination. Whether driving a Porsche or meticulously crafting a film, Kubrick remains one of the most compelling figures in cinema history, helmet or no helmet.